Got trying again now. Made a mistake there, so there we are. Anyhow, look, it's Thursday, Cornishman Day. What a lovely day out there, isn't it? And this is just what the doctor ordered for all of us. Do make us all feel a lot better, doesn't it? And that's the most important. But as long as everybody's staying, well, say stay safe. But there's a lot of people around, so that's a good thing. And well, this is just right. Could do with this for a day. I see the birds are picking up bits and pieces now. Perhaps they're making nests and get early brooding, like But everything's coming up. The garden, all the flowers are coming on. Lovely. Just makes it feel great, doesn't it? That's the most important. Now, anyhow, a birthday yesterday was Cheryl Perry. It was her birthday yesterday. Happy birthday yesterday to you, Cheryl. And now Delia Brotherton, she's a bard of the gorse as such as I am. It's her birthday today, and she was part of the Tira Tabas group that came to our centenary celebration. It's done a fantastic job. So Pemblos, Low and Niece, Delia, and I've been asked to do a little special Gussanibon. Um, well, happy birthday to a great friend of mine as well. He's over on the North Quay. He's called Damien. I think he said he's 50. Look younger than that boy, but I suppose you had a hard time. Anyhow, happy birthday to you, Damien, from everybody over there in the office and down on the site. I know you wanted to keep it quiet, so I shan't say too much. All right. But happy birthday, and I hope you enjoy your day. All right. Now, this one I'm doing Herbert Lean. It was the worst weather for years. Father said he'd never remembered so much rain since the flood. Every house in the place had water gushing in the front door and going out the back. Mrs. Jems had to stay upstairs for 3 days, and soon as she got down, the water man called. The wind was some awful too, and now, said old Lizzie Ann, you'd know what I'd a suffer all year round. I heard there's some Ellens fell off the new chapel roof, said Feather, and the man that put them on the roof happened to be in the church last Sunday, like if it should be, so it was right over his seat. The rain was coming down on top of him. I suppose he shifted his seat, said Mother. No, replied Feather. First he put his hat on, and everybody thought he was going out, but he sat down again. Then he got up and put on his overcoat. Next he opened his umbrella, and the organ started to play the hymn, Pull for the Shore. The preacher, who was from down Pempons way, got up to preach and said, now, my dear friends, you can see what awful weather 'tis, and be sorry for poor Noah and his big family. Up jumped Noah Trelaw, who got 9 children, and shouted, leave me out of it. If you can stick it, I can. I don't hold with trying to alter the weather, said Feather. Every man got any control over he to make himself of. I know some years ago we had a dry spell, went on for weeks. Crops were drying out on the ground, and the people were longing for rain. On the Sunday following, they got together and asked the preacher to pray for rain. He did not want to very much, but said he didn't believe he ought to. But they madn't, and do you know, before the service was over, it come in black and entered down with rain. Everybody had come to chapel all dressed up in their light summer dresses. They waited and waited, but it still poured down. Wet to the skin they were afore they got home. It never catted for weeks. Taters were showing above the ground. Everything the people was getting up to had to be put off, and they was afraid the summer would soon be over. So they went to the preacher again and asked him to pray for fine weather. This is what he said. Oh Lord, I know I asked for rain. 'Tis my fault, but this is ridiculous. And the rain stopped. Well, said Mother, it don't look like stopping now. That poor preacher going out in all this weather. How don't you hitch up the donkey and Gus on bringing home for dinner? Off Feather started and got up to the chapel just as they were coming out. Comes on, he shouted to the preacher. Come down my place, have bit dinner. The preacher got up, but to turn the donkey round to face the rain was another thing. Feather tried everything, but it was no use, and in the end they had to leave him there and walk home. I don't want no dinner, said Richard Henry. You're looking brave and wished, remarked Father. I know now how I could smell baccy smoke coming out from the outhouse. Oh, leave the boy alone, said Mother. Suppose you was the same. Yes, I can remember when I promised to take a shiner to the fair and to show off. I bought a pipe and bit bacca. We had a look at the show, and then she wanted to have a ride on the hobby horses. So we did. And when I got down, my head was going round faster than the horses. I was so sick I had to go home, and wasn't she some mad? Never spoke to me again till she got another chap. Next day I was smoking again and haven't stopped for long since. People say you can't give it up. They can't give it up. Oh, 'tis easy enough if you make up your mind. I'd have given up it 5 or 6 times. Come on, said Mother. Dinner is ready. All have a nice weekend.